Normal day. Nothing special. Molly groaned, rolling on her side. Molly. Please open the door. Optimus yelled from the other side, trying not to bother the whole street. Tell me again why you came. She shouted, stuffing her head in the pillows. I came because you didn't go to school and never called to tell us why. Now open the door. She snarled, rolling off the bed. Optimus, don't wake me up again at. She checked the alarm clock, 3 in the afternoon. She huffed, air snorting out of her nose. I apologize, he said as the garage door raised, but you shouldn't be asleep for that long. She rolled her eyes, walking away. I'm nocturnal. Sleep during the day. I was out in Animalia taking care of some stuff. Optimus drove in, transforming. He looked around, and noticed the bags lying on the floor. Like shopping? He crowed, smirking. Hey. Molly pouted. I was running out of things to wear that fit. And I couldn't just go to Walmart to get fur-threaded clothing. Optimus scoffed, and sat down. Clothes? You call a shirt that doesn't even cover your midsection clothes? Molly pretended to be offended, looking down at her shirt. It's a crop top. I don't like getting sweaty and having my clothes stick to my boobs. Too much attention. She sat down on the beanbag sofa, popping her knuckles. Right. Optimus rolled his optics, and grabbed a book off the shelf. I'm almost close to finishing it, he said, opening up City of Bones. You're a slow reader. She smirked, looking at him. Well, we've been busy, he clarified, intently staring at the page. Have you got to the twist yet? Molly asked, looking to him. What twist? Optimus tilted his head. Molly bit her lip, trying to keep herself from snickering. Just keep reading. Optimus looked back at the page, optics scanning each word. Optimus, RC and Jack are checking out a beacon that crash-landed last night. What did it identify as? Optimus asked through the com, holding his place. Unknown. That's why they're checking it out, Ratchet informed. Optimus nodded, understood. He cut the com off, and went back to reading. What was that about? Molly asked, pulling her legs to her chest. RC and Jack went on a recon mission. He answered, sighing. Can't I just skim the next few pages? No. She shouted, throwing a pillow at him. Don't ever skim through Mortal Instruments. You'll miss everything. Optimus chuckled, picking up the cushion. This is different than what I've read before in the Akan archives, but Earth has very interesting literature. Molly smiled, turning on the TV. Let's see what's on. She breathed, flipping the channels. Parks and Rec? Not in the mood. Friends? Too mainstream. Good Dinosaur? Not wanting feels today. Ah, nothing's on. She groaned, huffing. She turned the channel again, and her eyes were blessed with the miracle. Once upon a time. She squealed, clicking it. Optimus smiled as she wrapped herself in her blankets. I love this show, she whispered, beaming. What's it about? Prime asked, looking at the screen. Molly looked up, inching over. It's about this woman whose son finds her and takes her to his home, which is where fairy tale characters live but don't remember being fairy tale characters. Optimus looked at the door in confusion, and tried to process the information. Molly scoffed, and rolled her eyes. Just watch it or read. Optimus laughed, and went back to reading. What chapter are you on? She asked, looking to him. 22. He stated bluntly, crossing his legs. Oh no. Molly thought, biting her cheek. She stopped talking then, grinding her teeth anxiously. Optimus? She asked, not hearing him. Optimus? You all right? She turned to look at him. He was frozen, staring at the page. Oh no. Molly chuckled. Optimus, put the book down for a second. She got up, walking towards him. He grunted, and threw the book at the wall. Optimus. Molly chided. That's my only copy. You can't just toss it around. She went over to the book, and cradled it. Why did Valentine do that? He wailed. They were hitting it off. Then Valentine just swoops in and crowns them king and queen of Incestium. Molly's mouth slacked, and she went into hysterics. Optimus's faceplates heated up, and he fumed. What's so funny? Molly sat down in front of him, holding her ribs. Why you need to read the rest of them? She laughed, clutching her sides. Optimus crossed his arms, looking away. His faceplates might as well been tinging red. Read the rest of it and I will give you the others. She giggled. The laughing died down. Optimus nodded, and took the book she was handing him. I had about the same reaction too. Molly chuckled, closing her eyes. He sighed, watching her walk away. He took notice of the way she walked, the way her hips swayed with her arms, and how she walked gracefully on her toes. His optics adjusted, the blue widening. Molly stretched, and Optimus finally noticed her pajamas. They were an indigo blue, the top tattered at the bottom, sleeves everywhere. The sleeves were torn, only 2 pieces of fabric holding it up on one shoulder. It reached down to the bottom of the ribs, her midriff totally exposed. Her pants started out in a matching skirt, trimmed in black lace. Under that, were loose pants with fishnet stockings. Her slippers were a crystal blue, lined at the bottom with spider webbing. Her hair hung loose, curls falling over her shoulders. The perfect outfit to impress a guy. Molly rolled her head, fidgeting with her hair. She went to Animalia to get this outfit from her closet last night, but got carried away and brought home a lot of dresses and evening gowns. She bit her lip, glancing at him through the corner of her eye. She breathed out, frowning. She didn't notice she put it on till now. And she face-palmed herself at her stupidity. I wanted to play it cool, not look desperate. My scars are showing too. She groaned, and fell back onto the cushion. Are you all right? Optimus asked, tilting his head. Yep. She said, popping the pea. She sighed, pushing herself up. Optimus scoffed, and looked around. She stays in here more than in her own house. I find that weird, but it's Molly. He sighed, and looked back at Molly. She was lying on her stomach, head on her hands. Her top showed off most of her upper back. The marks from her wings were visible on her back, and the fold-over from the darkened scars wrapped around under her armpit and her waist. He didn't even remember she had those scars. Her back rose and fell with every breath, and her hair flowed down her back, the brown showing highlights of amber. Optimus hummed, smiling. She was just so perfect. In his optics, at least. Molly watched the TV screen intently, trying to get a tune out of her head. HMMM, she breathed in, popping her knuckles. I never thought that you'd be the one to hold my heart. That's interesting. Molly whispered, looking at her hands. She smiled, looking slightly over her shoulder. Her eyes caught Optimus, and she sighed in content. I think I just found my muse. Next day, I recommend listening to this while reading. Molly waltzed out of the front doors, humming to herself. She'd whirled in her autumn outfit, taking in the crisp fall breeze. The first day of October, her favorite month. The red and orange leaves swirled around her, blowing her hair around her. She sighed in content, taking in a deep breath. The air smelled like sweet Macintosh apples and maple. Perfection. Molly hummed, gently closing her eyes. My favorite time of the year. She purred, feeling the cool wind wash her face. She twirled about, gracefully dancing through the grass. The wind brushed against her, dangling her wind-tossed hair. Optimus pulled into the lot, yanking Molly out of her daze. She smiled brightly, squaring her shoulders. Optimus, she skipped towards her guardian, pulling her messenger bag closer. Hello, Optimus. She chirped, opening up the door. Good afternoon, Molly. He greeted, wrapping the seat belt around her waist. Good afternoon, indeed. she purred, smiling. Molly looked out the window awfully. I love October. Optimus heated up, pulling away from the school. You have a beautiful outfit today, he complimented. Molly nodded, smiling gently. Thank you. She blushed, looking out the window. You're so sweet. Optimus heated up more, stopping at the red light. Her outfit flatters her. He hummed, smiling internally. Molly blushed, hiding her neck in her scarf. She's so cute when embarrassed. Optimus chuckled. The light turned green, and he roared off. So? Molly drawled. What have you been doing today? Optimus turned onto the back road, speeding up. Only working around the base. He answered, what about you? Molly shrugged, looking out. Nothing really. Just a normal day. Optimus hummed, and opened the window. Molly flashed a smile, and stuck her hand out the window. I feel so vulnerable around him. Why do I love it? She sighed, clenching her jaw. He doesn't seem to notice it, but he's the only one I have opened up to in a long time. And he's broken down most of my walls. It feels right. She breathed out, looking away. Her heart fluttered hard against her chest. He hasn't even seen the worst of me. Why does he stay? Am I too out there? Will he stay if I show him my world openly? Or will he run like the others? By the devil, I hate relationships. Her mind spun frantically around these thoughts. He's too perfect. He just trusts me even when I lie. Why does he stay? I don't know. I just care for the thought. He makes feel things I haven't felt before. It sucks. She growled lowly, almost like a purr. I swore never to let anyone else into my life after the kids. After everything. Who can I trust now? Apparently Optimus. Why? No clue. Just feels right. He has been with me for 3 months now, right by my side. And for what? I just pick at him, annoy him, try to take the boring and make it fun. Doesn't that get on his nerves? Don't I annoy him? She sighed, looking out in the desert. Why do I trust him? I mean, he's sweet, kind, responsible, smart, caring, not too bad on the eyes. Damn, Maiko was right. I need her to help me with this. They pulled up to the silo, the huge rock towering over them. The shadow pulled over them, darkening the area. Molly pursed her lips, fumbling with her hair. We're here. Optimus transformed, holding her in his hand. Molly nodded, jumping off to the platform. She stood up, shaking her body. Cat instinct. I find it odd how graceful you can be, Optimus started, smiling, and then, you go and fall somewhere. Like a domestic feline. Is that natural for you? Yes. Molly nodded, walking on her toes. Very natural. Optimus shrugged, and smiled. Molly smirked, watching the others drive in. Hey everybody. She waved, watching them get out. Yo. Maiko yelled up to her, running up the stairs. Look what I got. She taunted, holding up a plastic bag of dum-dums. They both shrieked, jumping onto the beanbag. You are the best, Maiko. Molly screeched, grabbing a handful of suckers. Maiko laughed, unwrapping one. I know. She replied, smugly. The girls talked to each other, making jokes, and when we jumped off the rock into the river, Maiko chittered, phew, that was awesome. I can't wait till Halloween. Molly nodded, chewing on the hardened candy. I have the perfect costume. Maiko grinned widely, nodding her head up and down. You always have the best costumes. They laughed, Molly showing photos on her phone. Oh, you would look so good in that. Maiko agreed, leaning over her shoulder. I know, right? They looked at the photos, making suggestions and dispersing ideas. Jack walked up next to them, flopping onto the couch. I'm exhausted. He groaned, lying his head on a pillow. I've heard. Molly snickered, poking him. He glared at her, pulling his head away. Do you need a pout of gold, laddie? She teased in an Irish accent, smirking. Go away, leprechaun. He groaned, pulling a dum-dum out of the bag. Molly chuckled, moving away. Maiko, I'm going to be right back, she said, taking off her sweater. Don't eat all the dum-dums. This is only a part 1. Next chapter is part 2. I posted the next chapter before this. Good day, this should flow more evenly now.
Well, that's the ending of that chapter. I do hope you enjoy this video. If you like to see more, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment down below. Until next time.